Hello, universe world, and a special hello to all of my Peking ducks out there. Now, I'm doing this slightly differently. This is editing Mark, and I've just finished editing this particular podcast. And before you start listening, I first of all need to apologize for a couple of things. First of all, the audio is not as crisp as the first two episodes. And as I said in my intro episode, I'm still learning how to do this and I will get better with time, experimenting with different software and different microphones and different setups and all of that stuff. And obviously with a friend, my friend Boita, who will grace this particular episode, it got, well, a little too jovial and you will hear me laughing a lot, and I do cut into the conversation a lot as she is speaking, but that is just because when you're with really good friends and you're having really good conversations, you sometimes forget that there are microphones around. But I do hope you still enjoy the episode, and if you have any suggestions or comments, please do leave them in the comment section below, and I shall see you in the next one. 再见. Hey everyone, hey universe world, and welcome to yet another episode of Peking Duck. And this is going to be a very, very fun episode because I am here with one of my all-time best biddies in Beijing. This girl is cute to the max. She's got a booty to match too.
Yeah.
A booty that rivals mine, though. I mean, that's saying something. That is saying something. And I've known her for quite a while. Will you like to introduce yourself, miss?
Let me introduce myself. I don't know, I'm doing that. I always do the singing thing. I don't know why.
Is it your new ministry?
Everybody. I'm Boita. My full name is, do you even know what my full name is?
I have seen it.
I love how you've seen it.
When we were doing correspondence, remember, so the way I have known Boita both officially and on the streets.
Yeah.
Because I worked for a company that used to work with the company that she worked for, and we would exchange emails. So I remember the name, but it was promptly deleted. From my brain. I didn't have that type of storage, please.
I know it's quite long.
I'm Kenyan. I have a basic name. I have a very, very basic name.
Okay, so let me check if you know how to pronounce this.
Oh dear God.
So my full name is Boithabiso.
Boithabiso.
Oh, you said it probably.
Thank
lovely,
you. Thanks.
Lovely.
It's that African tongue.
Is that
what that tongue do though?
Yeah. So that's it. I'm Boita. Everyone calls me Boita, but my full name is Boithabiso. Back home, they still call me. There are people who call me Boita too. So.
Oh, good.
That's
good.
It. Boita.
The one that I get pissed off for you, but I realize you don't even notice it when people are like Boitha.
Oh yes.
And I'm like, it's not. It's not. Where did you get the C?
Oh, I know.
Like, where's the TH from?
There are so many people who say that.
Or Boitha. I've heard Boitha. Boitha.
Oh, yes, I know.
I've heard someone even call you Bertha. And I was like,
not Bertha.
Not Bertha. Not Bertha from the church.
Yeah, not Bertha. Yeah, sorry. No, I know. I don't know. Sometimes I try not to correct people because I'm like.
Do you feel petty when you have to correct people?
I do. Sometimes. There are people who will say Boitha and then say, is it Boitha? And then I'll correct them. I just leave it.
It sounds like a learning method.
Yeah.
The Boitha method.
Boitha method.
Or a disease. And oh, God bless our white people because they're the ones who they try with my last name.
Oh.
Because my name is Ngina. It's Ngina.
Yeah.
And I've been called Ngina.
Yes.
Ngaina.
Yeah.
Just it just sounds like a gynecological issue. I was like, where and like I said, I'm a Kenyan. I have very basic names. Like I have Simon from church name.
Yes, not
You know?
Mark.
Yeah, I'm basically an apostle.
I'm like, what are we getting into?
Oh, the face that I'm just looking at. And this is the reason why. This is the reason why we're doing this episode. Because this episode is titled "God." Well, no, it's meant to be gays and girls behaving badly.
Mm-hmm.
And so Boitha. Boitha and I have been friends for a while, but I would like to think that Boitha and I do not have one of those relationships that you see in Beijing, which is very common, and it's one of those gay guys with their straight girl best friends.
Mm-hmm.
That is a very, very common thing.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Like even people, if you hear a situation where foreigners, even Chinese and foreigners living together, it's mostly one of those combinations of the guy is gay, the girl is straight,
Right.
and they're constantly doing things together. And it seems like the hottest accessory you can have in this city
Right.
is having a GBFF.
Yep.
But I am very confused, and I'm also I mean I
What are you confused about?
I am very confused because I've also been I've been in situations where people have tried to cast me as a GBFF,
Yeah.
and I've had to tell them, listen, I am not that guy.
Yeah.
I am friends with you, not because of my sexuality.
Yeah.
Because people are like, oh my God, like you're gay, so you can like give me fashion advice.
Oh yes, I'm glad we are actually going to.
Well,
talk
I'm
about
standing
this.
there like dead ass in a tracksuit. I'm like,
You're like,
what fashion advice
are you getting from me right now?
I will tell you, take everything off. You look horrible, but we're not gonna go there. And you know all of that, and like, oh, you know, you can help me deal with my boyfriend. Just these roles that people, you know, cast their GBFFs in, like the secretary, the mom, the protector, and the psychologist,
the fashion.
yes, and also like the pseudo boyfriend as well. Because I've seen that as well. I'm like, I know the reason why.
How did that one play out though? That's interesting. I don't think I've ever.
Because the way I've seen them play out is you see the dynamic gay guy, straight girl where it's the girl needs male validation. He's still a man,
Right.
but also wants emotional intimacy. And it seems
that
the girls and the gays do tend to go deep in their emotions.
Yeah.
And that, for a lot of people, satisfies them. And you find people who have been like, do you remember that show? Like one of the best examples I can ever give is Will and Grace.
Oh yes, that always comes up whenever this.
That is it.
Our gay best friends comes up. Yeah.
And like their relationship was so dysfunctional that they couldn't even date anyone else because dating would affect their relationship.
Right.
And like they would honestly get jealous of boyfriends and girlfriends, and they would sabotage each other's relationship or their own relationships just so that they can go back to their friend.
Yeah. That's a bit twisted. I would not see why any kind of friendship would come to that.
But my question, you know, as a learned psychologist, as someone who has read more than one book, we've been reading some of these girls in Beijing because these bitches have just read just one book and they come at some of us and we're like, go back home.
I think you do have to have one podcast about that. You have to talk about this pseudo-intellectualism.
Miss me with that bullshit. This is going to be X-rated for the cheap seats in the back.
Oh my God.
But as Professor Doctor Reverend Boitha.
Oh shit, you're referring to me?
That's me.
I thought you were talking about yourself.
No. I'm ordained as a priest of the Church of Reeds. I think a couple of people have caught fire today. We're not going to repeat what was said, but just know there were a couple of fatalities tonight.
But as Professor Dr. Reverend, you know, who went to the same school as the likes of Oprah and Deepak
no, my child.
And who was the other one that I like? I forget her name. The one who wrote the cage when the cage bird sings.
Maya.
Maya Angelou. Yes.
I call like Maya, like she's my friend.
As you and Maya were bestest friends, kicking and cutting up. Why do you think this dynamic even exists to begin with?
Yeah, I mean, you know what? When we initially spoke about this, I contacted my mom.
Yeah.
Because when I was growing up, my mom had a gay best friend.
Oh.
Yes. So I remember just thinking first, I never had an issue. I never ever even viewed it like, oh, this is my gay best friend.
Yeah.
Because I grew up with my mom having a gay best friend.
Yeah.
And then when I was in primary, I had several gay friends.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I think there is definitely an element of us gravitating towards each other because part of it can be because of what can be considered quote unquote familiarity.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, on the surface level, it can very much be that. Like, we probably like the same things. We probably enjoy the same music. And for some gay guys who are, let's say, more effeminate than others, maybe fashion-wise, we do like the same
basically
things,
the same
right?
thing. Yeah.
So it could be that. That could be one of the.
She says, "Well, I'm combing my eyelashes."
Right, see.
I am literally the cliche at the moment. I'm like, oh, I have a lash in my eye.
Yeah, I should be right. I love how you're like chipping them, like
just
combing
through my lashes. Yes.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So I think part of it can be that, right? Can be the fact that there is this familiarity between girls and gay guys.
Yes.
But then also another one, and I think also as we grow older, it can be when you think about people who are disadvantaged.
Yeah.
And I don't.
Gender and sexual minority.
Right.
Yeah.
Gender and sexual minorities. That's the one. And
see, we read books.
And we read books. When you think about the fact that you have women who can very much be on the oppressed side, and then also gay men who are also on the oppressed side, in life in general, and right at the bottom of the hierarchy of human beings, I'm sure right at the bottom you have gay people.
Oh yeah,
and women, especially Black women.
Oh God, yeah.
So I think part of it is also that, like, I think there is a certain level of, look, I kind of get what you go through. Maybe we can.
We're more or less the same boat.
We are. So maybe we can be support for each other. I don't think everybody else views it like that, though, which is why it can be interesting how different people consider their friendships with their gay best friend.
Yeah.
Right? So for me, it was never. When I was a child, I asked my mom how she became friends with her gay best friend. Mm-hmm. And she was like, no, we were hanging out at some party when we were teenagers. We just were drawn to each other and we became friends. That was it. And when I asked her, like, were people in our neighborhood saying things, any homophobia that, like, the guy experienced, and she was like, of course there were people always saying something, but for us it was like, it's a friendship. It was nothing more than it being a friendship. Yeah. Even though I think she did not necessarily have the language for it then, but for her it was just like, you're my friend. Yeah. Nothing more than that. Even for me with my gay best friends, I don't want to say my gay best friends, but
your gay friends, your good friends who happen to be gay. Friends. I think for you, and that's why I said, like, our relationship has never been one of those, because you have a lot of friends who happen to be gay.
Yes.
And that's also like part of how you and I met. Right. So I think for you, it's a case of, they're my friends. Yeah. They also just happen to be gay.
Yes. It's never the fact that they're gay and
therefore they're my friends.
No. So even with my friends that I became friends with when I was in primary school, when I don't think I necessarily even had an idea about being gay or what. Yeah. We just were drawn to each other. We went to the same church, and I was new. I had just moved to a different province, and we all went to church together, and somehow we all became friends. Yeah. And that was it, right? Yeah. We were drawn to each other because we went to the same church. Yeah. And then we became friends. That was it.
Yeah. I mean, like, when I was thinking about it, because I have been cast in that position. Yeah. From when I was.
I can imagine.
Because I've been me for a very long time.
I can imagine.
And I would think, like, first of all, Boita is South African. I'm Kenyan, so we have one thing in common, and that is the idea. I think maybe South Africa is a little bit more liberal than Kenya in certain ways.
Yeah.
But there is still a very big stigma. When we were growing up, there was a big stigma in the idea of boys and girls mixing.
Absolutely.
There was always that divide. But at the same time, there is a curiosity on both sides to try and interact, because everyone, like, in as much as, oh God, I really hate my people for this, because they were the ones who would plant these negative ideas in kids' minds, because kids are just like, I think he's interesting, I think she's interesting. And then they'll be like, no, but you're going to start touching each other, and you're going to, and people are like, oh, really? We can do that?
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, where there was where there was nothing, they plant a seed. And I think in my case, or rather the way I would see it, is being friends with me was a way to kind of go around that boys and girls don't mix things.
Oh, that's interesting.
Because for them, and I still get this a lot, like, I am a little bit of both, according to people. Like, no, he looks like a boy, but if we want, he can pass for a girl. And, you know, like, I would honestly just be treated as one of the girls, like, not even a boy in the, it would just be, he's one of the girlfriends. Of course. And I would honestly use the he and the proper pronoun and go, no, he's one of the girls. Yes. You know, and also there's also that element of, when you are gay in certain societies, you are automatically, like, your boys club membership is automatically revoked. And that's the thing, like, am I just going to sit there not having any friendships, not having any relationships? Like, what am I supposed to do with this information? And you just end up in friendships with girls. And I remember what happened to me in high school, because in high school I went to an all boys school, and I had maybe one or two friends.
Really?
One or two friends max. Because what happened with me?
Look at you now.
No, girl. No, you know why I had one or two friends? Because the then head honcho in the class had decided to give me a nickname. And I said, you're not going to call me outside of my name. And I literally went to the school. I went to one of the teachers, and the teacher called their parent. So the teacher basically escalated the situation, and he was very pissed. But at the same time, I was like, he would call people names in order for them to be in his team. I mean, truth be told, I would have let him call me anything, because he was kind of cute. But I was at the same time.
Like,
No. At the same time, I am my mother's child. You are not going to call me outside of my name, period. And he did. So basically everyone kind of turned away from me, and for the 4 years I basically had like 1, 2, 3 friends. But one thing they would always like using me for is they would ask me to write their girlfriends letters.
No, that is such a boys' thing.
Because they would be like, Mark, you know how girls think. I'm like, yeah, you do. Do you know? I think I do more than your average straight man.
Okay, because then that's another thing where I think that could be one of the other attractions that girls.
I think so. Yeah. Because the other side of it is, like I said, there is that need to interact with the opposite sex, but there is a safety that comes with interacting with a person from the opposite sex that is attracted to
you.
That is similar to you. Yeah, in some ways. And in that way, like, gay guys find confidence in straight girls, because I don't think any GBFF situation has any secrets. Like, I have been in situations where I don't even want to be in. Like, the girls get super comfortable. Like, they undress in front of you, and they're like, "Oh, I don't care."
I have to tell you a story. Actually, coming to that, let me tell you a story.
Please
friend
share.
is going to kill me for this. My cousin.
I said, I will say the same things with both feet planted on the ground.
So, when I finished high school, it was time to go to university, and randomly made friends with these two people. One of them is a gay guy.
Yeah.
His name is Bongs, one of my best friends right now.
Yeah.
And the other girl is Keisha, also my best friend. It has always been the three of us throughout university.
Yeah.
There was a point where we were visiting our gay best friend for the weekend. We slept over at his place. And we're just hanging out randomly. We were not even drinking or anything.
Okay.
And I don't know how this conversation even came up. And my gay best friend was like, I don't even know what a vagina actually looks like.
I don't like where this is going.
Oh my God, this is TMI.
Proceed with caution. Oh, but I am hiding my immaculate eyelashes at the moment.
This is too much. You're removing it from the
We are not removing anything. Oh God.
My friend said, I don't know what a vagina looks like. And my other friend is like, oh, you don't? Okay, I'll show you. And she proceeds to lay on her back and legs wide open. And my friend starts examining her vagina.
Digitally. Are you like he was getting hands-on experience?
Yeah, he was like, what's this? Why you look like this? Imagine.
Oh my God.
I remember just sitting there like, you fucking what are you doing?
Dead.
What is this?
I am dead.
That's the comfort, the level of comfort that it goes to.
No,
right?
I have been in situations like that, and I'm like, I am happy that you feel comfortable like this, but also, please don't get naked around me.
Really?
Just don't. Like, no, I've had those situations where, like, visiting friends.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh well, I don't need a towel when when I'm coming out of the shower.
I'm Mark is here. So.
Yeah, and I'm like, even when I'm alone, I have a towel on. Like
no.
No. I don't understand this level of girls with their GBFFs. Like they do things. I feel in my mind sometimes I'm like, the GBFF is almost like the ideal boyfriend without the sex.
Yeah, without the sex.
Because they do things that they wouldn't even do around their boyfriend.
Yes.
And you're just like, but I always think, I've always thought, or rather the way I see it is, it's kind of lopsided though.
How so?
Because it always seems to favor the girl and not the gay guy. Because a lot of times, and I will speak from experience, but also from what people have told me in their experience with being GBFFs and being friends with gay guys, is people will come to me with their problems. They'll be like, Mark, please, blah, blah. But they never ask me what my problem is.
Right.
Yeah?
Right.
Or they will tell me about their relationship issues and they will confide in me. But when I'm in a relationship, nothing is ever said about my relationship. If anything, there seems to be upset on their side, feeling like my relationship is coming in the way of our friendship.
Like it's inconveniencing.
Yeah, because like, oh my God, I can't believe like you're putting a man over your friendship. And I'm like, no, I'm just, you prioritize certain things.
Right.
He's not just a friend.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I see that dynamic a lot. Like people, I will say, it's almost like a situation of the GBFF being used as an emotional and psychological surrogate.
Yeah, of course. I've definitely seen that play out in many friendships. I personally have, I know a lot of gay guys. I have friends who are gay.
Yeah.
And ours is a true friendship. Like it's never
You seem to be the collector of gays in this city. I don't know anyone who knows. I think all of my entire inner circle that is gay in Beijing are all your friends.
No. I have my friends.
No. Let's be honest. I sometimes open Instagram and I'm like, she is with all the gays in Beijing. Like all the gay bars right now are empty because Boita is holding court.
I don't think so. No,
think about it though. Like your game nights and like Christmas time.
Right.
I am like, this girl has, and she's like, she has the cream of the crop. Like the swap of the swap girls in this city. You really do have the good ones. And I'm just like, am I the only one who's not invited to any of them? No, I'm like, I must be the only gay that's out today. Like all of them are holding court at Boitas.
But honestly, like for me, it's just like I look at our friendships as being very authentic and real. We become friends because we have something in common. It could be music, it could be our interest in politics, whatever it could be, right? But I'm curious to know from you, have you ever felt that you have had to put on a personality because that's what is expected of you from girls, especially. I mean, you have a huge personality.
I have a big personality, yes.
So I wonder, like, because sometimes I've thought about it actually, where I've seen how some of my friends, some of them, it's like they have to put on a personality.
They have to be the gay guy.
You have to be the gay guy. It's like your personality.
Yeah.
It's like being gay is a personality. You can't just be yourself.
Yeah.
You can't be sad because people expect you to always be on, you know?
Yeah.
Have you felt like that?
Oh yeah, constantly.
Really?
I've had to put people in their place when they do that to me, because I've heard people use with me.
Wow.
I've heard people. First of all, there's a friend of mine. She made the mistake of calling me sassy.
Oh.
And I
don't like that.
I tortured her for a whole week with that word. I'm like, am I being sassy now?
Ooh.
Because just that stereotypical gay guy. That stereotypical. I mean, I know I can be I have very many stereotypical what people might consider gay mannerisms, but that's just me. Like, it's unfortunately also other gay guys, or fortunately other gay guys also have the exact same mannerisms, as do most people who share an identity or whatever it is. But yes, I would, like, for example, when I would have moments of depression and I wasn't available to do things, and they'd be like, oh my God, Mark, you know, the party's not the same without you. Come over.
Right.
And I'm like, you know, you listen to the language being used by people, and that's what lets you know where people place you in their minds.
Right.
Because if you're only ever using me with happy adjectives, party adjectives, where you want me to be the entertainment.
Yeah.
Like, I've had people text me, it's like, oh my God, this bitch is being rude to me. Come over here and like put her in her place. I'm like, that's not my fight.
Yeah. Why am I even getting involved?
Why would I come and insult someone who has not offended me personally? If I was there and someone acted out of character, I would assist in the burial. You know? But I would not be doing the killing myself.
Yeah.
So it's not my ministry.
Yeah.
And people really do. That's why, as I said earlier, it seems more skewed towards the girls.
Oh, do you think so? I wonder, actually. I've had situations where I've observed, and I think sometimes there are gay best friends who sometimes use their friends.
How so?
It can be with very stupid things, though.
Like what?
Dumb shit like, oh, I have a hot girlfriend and we can go to the club and I know that they'll get drinks for us, for our table.
Oh,
I feel like, do you sometimes feel like you can take advantage of your friendship with a woman, a straight woman?
Honey, no. Have you met me?
I mean,
have you met me?
You got your own. I know.
I can get free drinks for myself.
Yeah.
I've never had a problem. Listen, sometimes I will be honest. Sometimes being with girls is what drags me down.
We are dragging this man down.
Because I'm like, this is dead weight. What is happening? Right. But also, no, that never happens, because I also have really, really good. I have very, 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 very good girlfriends.
Yeah.
Or rather, I say they are very good friends. They just happen to be straight.
Right.
And it's never been like in Beijing, in the Beijing community, I can say I'm a little known. These streets gotta know my name.
That is famous mom.
She's known a couple of places. She doesn't have to be on guest list anymore.
What?
But you know, it's one of those situations where, again, you enter and people expect you to be on, and sometimes that can overshadow the friend. And I have to remind people, no, I'm not here by myself. This is my friend.
Right.
And my friend is another human who is here with me. And I find her very interesting. And if you think that what I find interesting is interesting, then find her interesting as well.
Right.
That is one way in which I kind of counter that you know, being on all the time. But I don't think I've ever been, if anything, I've been in situations where men have felt jealous of me because of girls. Because I've been in places where, even here in Beijing, where, you know, we go out to the club and guys are busy trying to hit on a friend, and the friend is very clear. They're like, no, I'm here with my friend.
Right.
And they're just like, you know, well, what is he gonna do for you?
Right.
Like, I'm not trying to do anything.
And that's another thing. That's sometimes that's exactly what we like. The fact that when we are with our gay best friends, it's just all good vibes.
Yeah.
You know? We are not. We know that I'm out with a friend. We are having a good time. No one is going to try to sleep with me at the end of the night because I came out to the club with them.
Yeah.
So that's one of the things that I really enjoyed. It is that level. There's a level of safety that we feel.
There definitely is.
Having a gay best friend.
And I think, like, even when I was a kid, I think, like, when I would face, like, I didn't know it was homophobia, but when someone would insult me, because back then I really didn't know how to speak up for myself. That has since changed. But you know, back then it was the girls who had the good insults, and they would attack these boys. I've had girls like physically fight boys because boys were mean to me when I was a kid, and I remember that. So there is that level of safety, and then that kind of shift when you become adults, because you know, whether or not I'm in heels or a dress, I'm still a guy.
Yeah.
And if something pops off,
I will fight.
We will see each other. You know, mano a mano.
Yeah.
But there is definitely that level of safety. Although, since we're talking about gays and girls behaving badly, why is it that girls feel the need to tell their gay friends
everything?
First of all, everything. What is with the emotional sluttiness? I call it emotional sluttiness.
Emotional sluttiness.
That's just emotional sluttiness. Like, there is never a thought. There is no limit. And I'm like, friend, you're not even like that with your girlfriend.
Yeah, why are you telling me that?
Why are you telling me everything? Like, when I was back in Kenya with my girlfriends back there, I knew everything, including their menstrual cycle.
Oh, yeah.
To the point where sometimes I would have to carry pads myself, because I know some of my friends are careless enough to forget that they have heavy flows and they need more than.
And now you're like, I've got you.
And now I'm a pad dispenser. Although, people, one thing that I've always said, if you have a bag, carry tampons, carry a bag, carry pads, because you never know who needs it.
Yeah, we always carry extra for each other.
Whether you're a man or a woman, that's just courtesy. Just carry it. But yes, what is with the emotional sluttiness?
I mean, if you have someone that you can, I think sometimes as women, we tend to be very judgmental towards each other.
True.
We can be very extremely judgmental. And
she's saying this like gay men are not super judgmental.
Actually, you're right, because I know you guys can take it to another level.
No, but we protect our GBFFs. Like, nobody ever comes for the GBFF. Right. But if we don't like you, ooh.
Oh, I know. Well, we met with like some gay men.
Also, viewers, audio viewers, today we're not drinking wine. Today we're actually drinking pineapple juice. But it is still, we're still lubricating our thoughts, you know.
But I think one of the conversations that I've been having recently with some friends is the fact that, for example, when it comes to dating apps, you look at Grindr, right?
Ooh.
Or Tinder.
The pits.
One of the conversations.
If you're still on Grindr or Tinder, no, Grindr or Tantan, I am judging you. And Blued, I'm judging you too.
Oh shit, Blued is still a thing.
She is a thing.
Oh my goodness.
There are people who are still on the Blued street.
But we were just talking about how gay men are extremely open about certain, especially when it comes to anything that is sexual, right? Whether you are matching with someone, it's almost
explicit.
Very explicit, right?
Yep.
From the minute you match, you know exactly what you guys are going to be doing. On the other hand, when you look at like heterosexual people, we are like,
everyone is just always skirting around the issue, and it's like, no, you guys just want to smash.
But no, we don't do that. So I think maybe that's another, even though it's unspoken, I mean, I'm aware of it because I've had these conversations with friends about how open gay people generally are when it comes to what your intention is with sex. So generally when it comes to that topic, you're relaxed about it. But with I don't know, like for me, I think because I know that I can easily come to you and you won't judge me for this, because also there's this perception that you guys are very open. It's very dated when you think about it. There is this perception that you guys are extremely open when it comes to sex and everything.
I always tell people I am a good Catholic boy. I'm a good Catholic boy from Kenya. Please. I can open my mouth and say a lot of things, but unsolicited stuff, I'm like, oh, why? What are you telling me? Why am I being put? Like, you need a sex therapist, not me.
Do you feel like, have you felt
sometimes,
like that?
Yes.
Really?
Yeah, because listen, I am not. I can be very open and explicit about things, but only if we are like good friends.
Right.
And that is not something that I take lightly. Like, I will make. I will be the first to admit I make a lot of sexual jokes. I'm very good at the sexual innuendo, but that's a very different thing to telling you how we do it in the bedroom.
Yeah.
Like, that is still my business. And some of these girls, like, they tell you what their man does and doesn't do, and you meet their man and you're like, I can't even look at you straight right now because I know exactly where your pitfalls are. And you're looking at them and you're like,
oh shit, I know you don't.
You know, you drop it like it's lukewarm. You're giving that tepid sex. Like, that's why you don't have that BDE energy. You know, and you're like,
But I think, I mean, that also comes with, when it comes to the whole gay best friend thing, where girls are like, I can tell them everything and they'll give me all this advice. Because I guess generally girls think that you guys know more. And I think it's also because they're like, well, if you're a man, clearly you probably know what men like. And
we do know what men like.
And whatnot. But I don't know because I don't know. I don't talk about my sex life with my friends.
I mean, I will allude to things.
Yes.
I will allude to
I'm not getting into details.
No.
The shape, the size, no.
Oh, but some of these girls, they will tell you.
They will give
you an X-ray. Right? They will even give you medical records of these men that they're sleeping with, and you're like, so you're allergic to penicillin? Shame.
Yeah. What's going on?
It's no problem. Yeah.
But do you feel like, I mean, have you had moments where you had girls that you've met and you don't have really in-depth relationships with, and then you've had to say, no, don't tell me that?
I have met girls at the club.
Ooh, and they tell you everything.
Who tell me stuff. Yeah. One of the most recent ones was a girl who came up to me and was like, oh, I've just come from fucking in the toilets. And there's a guy that I was fucking, and I was like, I was here trying to get my Long Island. I was trying to get high on Beijing's fake alcohol. Why?
Yeah. I mean, I don't get it, but I don't know. Maybe it's that we think I will finally talk to someone who's just not judgmental.
I'm very judgmental. Don't talk to me.
Exactly. So
don't talk to me.
It's that. But also something that I would have really loved for us to talk about is, have you found that some of your straight women friends have very problematic views about homosexuality?
Oh, of course. Yeah.
Right. And how do you address that? Because I've noticed, like, I've personally seen how people with gay best friends can have extremely problematic views about sexuality.
One of the most recent situations, one of the most recent incidences like that was this friend of mine who, like, I sent her a link to this podcast. And she apparently has recently found Jesus.
Oh, Lord.
Praise be to the Lord. But we're not going to bring Jesus into this. Jesus is busy conditioning his hair to look the way he does.
A whole other topic.
Jesus is minding his, like, Jesus always minds his business until people pull him into stuff. And always catching the smoke. And I'm like, I don't have a problem with Jesus. Jesus and I are cool. You're the one who's bringing Jesus into this, and Jesus was brought into this situation. And this woman basically said one of those lines that I abhor. Okay? Abhor. And she said, I don't necessarily agree with your lifestyle.
It's a lifestyle.
But you're still my friend. And I have mentioned this before, but we're trying to keep it light, but we're still going to go deep on this. Who would choose a lifestyle like this?
Yeah. Well, you know that there are millions of people around the world who hate you.
People die because of this.
Of course.
And she fixed her fingers because she didn't fix her mouth. I'm glad she didn't fix her mouth to say it. She fixed her geriatric fingers to type this on Beyonce's internet.
Yes.
On Beyonce's internet. Okay? on now Britney Spears internet because she's out of the house. B is back on the BBB internet, okay?
Yeah, no.
On the World Wide Web, she told me this, and I was like, I don't even know where that came from.
Yeah.
Apropos of nothing.
How did you respond to that?
I didn't respond, but that has happened to me several times. And when I was younger, I used to think that was a bit of a compliment, because I would think, well, if you have a problem with all of these people,
but then you're friends with me.
But you're friends with me, it means I'm different. In the same way that you will have racist non-black people who will say, I don't fucks with people like this, but I'm okay with you. And what you should be hearing is, you fit you're
palatable.
You're palatable, or you fit my expectations of your people. And first of all, who are you to have expectations of anyone? Yes. And I was very, very quick to cut that off. But I think what my very worst situation in that respect was in college. I had a massive falling out with my group of girls who I thought were my friends.
Right.
And honestly, I talked about this recently with them, because one of them called me. Like, it was a big group of friends, and then I kept in touch with one of them, and it was just basically just the way they approached a certain situation that happened between us or in the group was very clearly from the perspective of, he is gay, therefore. And it was traumatic. Like, it was traumatic for me.
Yeah, of course.
Because I was one of those. I was under the impression that I had friends for life. Because they say you make friends for life in college. Forget high school and primary school.
Right.
And we had this massive falling out. And the thing about it was, when this friend of mine called me, and she was visiting another one of them who is in Dubai. So she was in Dubai, and she was like, "Oh my God, guess who's here?" And the other one, who was part of the ones who fell out and had said quite hurtful things about me and to me, and had blocked me, basically was like, "Oh my God, Mark, how are you? Are you happy to see me?" I was like, "I'm not happy to see you. I'm not happy to see you." And it was also the way she approached it initially, that she tried to dismiss my feelings.
Right.
And I said, it's been more than 10 years since that happened, but I still remember that. And that has shaped my relationship with people, because since then, I do hold people at an arm's length. Right. Like, I don't get in with people like that, because there were some of them who I would deliberately go home late, because I'm like, we're in uni, we're doing our projects late, but I'll walk you to your bus stop and I'll make sure that you're in the car okay. There were situations where, like, there were unwanted pregnancies, and some of them fell out, and I had to be there for a friend who had to get to terminate things.
Serious hardcore
friendship things. And then something happened that just changed everything, you know? And I remember when we were on this call, this girl basically said, "Oh, but that happened years ago." And I was like, it happened years ago, but I still remember it.
Of course.
Because you know why? None of you ever gave me an explanation as to why. Whatever happened, happened. And like, the friend of mine who called me was like, "Mark, you have to be nice." I'm like, I've always been nice.
Yeah.
I'm not the one who did what happened. And again, I never understand why the onus is always on the victim to be civil.
Yeah, you have to be civil.
Why do I have to be civil? I am not the one who was uncivil to begin with. Yeah. They were the ones who were mean to me.
There's also this need for the rush, right?
Yeah.
Like, no, come on, get on with it already. It's been so many years.
And also, like, one of the reasons they said was, one of them, I won't say their names, but one of them now lives in a European country, and she's been facing issues of racism and discrimination at work and things like that. And they said, "Oh, Mark, you just have to be nice because she is going through stuff."
Oh, so we can be nice in this situation.
And I was like, are you talking to me, a Black African living in China? Are you honestly fixing your mouth to tell me, Black gay African living in Beijing, China,
during a pandemic,
one of the 10 Black people left here, all 10 of us live in the same house.
Right.
Me, I'm the one who needs to be good.
You're crazy.
And I just got so upset, and I had to let it go. Not because anyone had issued an apology. But because I realized one thing, that I was that dispensable, and that even 10 years on, people still had the audacity to call me to cheer someone else up, whose final words to me were cruel and hurtful, without so much as an apology. I'm the one who needs to move on, but I need to make concessions for someone else.
And you always have to be the one making sure they're comfortable.
Yes, I'm the one. Like if someone is uncomfortable, then it's always my prerogative to make sure that they are. And I was boggled. My mind was boggled, and I realized one thing as well. I've never been human in their eyes.
That's horrible.
I've never been human. I've been a tool. I've been an entertainment center. I have been an emotional and psychological doula. I have served functions in their lives, but I have never been appreciated for my full humanity.
Right. And which is the thing for me whenever I see these gay best friend and straight women relationships, because I'm like, I wonder if you actually see your friend as who they really are outside of being your entertainment, because most of the time that's what it is.
It is.
I think mostly it's seen as, you're seen as entertainment in these kinds of relationships, and it's sad and unfair, and it's actually quite infuriating.
It is,
because you would not expect to have that kind of friendship with another woman, right?
You would never do that with anyone of your friends.
Else. Exactly. None of your friends would be expected to perform.
And again, even hearing, I said, listen to the language that people use. The language is always, I need me a gay best friend.
Yeah.
Why do you need a gay best friend? You need a best friend.
Yeah.
By all means, get one. If your best friend happens to be gay, fine. You don't need to acquire people. People collectors. That's what I call them. People collectors. You know
what? It's actually very similar to having a gay best friend is very similar to how you are approached as a gay man, where people look at you and they're like, you're minding your business at a restaurant eating, and someone comes to you and they're like, "Oh, girl, I think you're so cool, blah blah blah." I hate it because white people do it with black girls.
Black girls, yes.
Right.
Everyone wants
a
black sidekick.
Right.
Everyone wants a black. And if you're black and gay,
then
that is a holy grail. That is like, you will be friends with every white girl in the city.
Right.
All of them are your best friends.
Yeah, I've had moments where I've seen myself just having an attitude because I don't approach me with that. Why are you coming at me calling me girl? I'm not a girl. Who said I'm American?
First of all,
I'm African. I'm South African.
Get your cultures right before you appropriate them. Get them right before you appropriate them.
Because that's just that. And I'm just like, I do get it from that perspective. Because I know how I've been approached sideways by non-black people who will come to me and say, "Girl, I like your outfit. Girl, this."
We should be friends. You're looking at them. On what conditions are we going to be friends?
Going to be friends. We have nothing in common.
You don't even know my personality. I don't know or rather what I'm seeing of your personality is something that I do not want to associate with.
Right.
So
it's one of those. But also here's another thing, right? Like I would, there are definitely girls or women who don't see their gay best friends as people.
They don't.
Humans.
Yeah.
So one of the things that a while back, a few years ago, that happened was, I remember, this is actually very personal.
Please share. I feel uncomfortable. I mean, I already shared my personal one.
Uncomfortable. No, not uncomfortable. I don't feel uncomfortable like that. I just have to talk to my friend about it after that.
Okay. Before we go live.
But basically, my gay best friend, right? He graduated a year before my other friend and I, and he started working before us, and then he found a job in another city in South Africa. So he moved to the city. While we were in university, we would always talk about his dating life, and just like we would talk about our dating lives in general.
Obviously.
But we had never met any of his partners or the people he was with.
Yeah.
So when he moved to this other city, one time I went to visit him, and he was living with his boyfriend at the time, right? And it was cool. We were all hanging out. out. It was great. And they were being a couple. Like, you know, they were being a couple.
She's referencing something that happened earlier today. We shall not reference that.
They were being a couple.
For those who know, they will know.
If you know, you know.
If you know, you know. Okay.
So they were being a couple, and actually,
as couples do.
As couples do. This was my first day of, because I was staying with them.
Yeah.
So this was my first day getting to their place. And I was going to be staying with them, and they were being a couple, kissing, holding hands.
It's their place.
It's their place also, right? So let me tell you, the first interaction they had with each other, I remember just being taken aback for a moment, and fortunately, almost immediately, I fixed my mind.
Fix your face.
Yeah.
Fix your face.
I remember when it happened, and I remember just being taken aback for a moment, and then immediately being yo, so you're okay with him being your gay best friend,
but you're not okay.
You're not okay
being gay. He's not okay being gay.
Yeah.
This gay, it's almost like it's a myth.
Right.
It's almost like it's a myth. Because in this our Beijing, in Uncle Xi Jinping's Beijing, in Uncle Xi's Beijing, I've been in situations where I've acquaintances, these people who are trying to acquire me as a friend, who get upset that I get attention from guys and they're not, and I'm like, if he's giving me attention, do you think maybe he's not straight? Maybe. So even if I wasn't here, even if I wasn't here,
looking at you.
Yeah, but obviously sometimes even the straight ones give me the attention. Because she comes out correct sometimes.
Oh yes.
she comes out looking good sometimes, but and they get big mad. They get big mad, and I'm
no, that's a strange one.
No, because I'm I am an adult.
Yeah.
I have relationships, situationships,
right,
encounters, like anybody else.
Yes.
Why are you getting upset that I am being gay?
Yeah.
Oh
my God, yeah, I had to call myself out real quick on that one. And I remember just being like, what's going on?
Oh yeah.
Why is it a problem?
Because I've had those conversations. I don't want to see that. I don't want to see that. Mark that
we had never had this conversation because I had never thought, because actually when it happened,
it didn't even occur to you.
No, it didn't until it happened, and I was like, oh, and then I was like, so they're okay being gay,
but not gay together.
But not gay with their partners. So you can walk around the world holding hands with your partner, and it's not okay for your friend, your best friend.
And that's where
so that's that calling out on myself. I'm so proud of that. That changed. It was cathartic, actually.
And that's the thing. For example, when conservatives and these people okay, you're forcing talking about, we don't want to see this. How is it going to affect the children?
No.
I'm like, listen, I grew up as a gay child watching straight people make out and do all sorts of things.
Place.
That didn't affect me.
Yeah. Was I influenced?
If I was influenced, bitch, someone needs to give me my money back because I clearly paid for the wrong course. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
And that's the thing, you have to allow people their full humanity
experience. They have to have the full human experience. You want it for yourself.
Yeah.
Why can you not want it for other people? Right? So for me, I think whenever it comes to this just looking at people with their gay best friends, I'm like, I wonder how much deeper this goes, I wonder if it's just on the surface. On the surface, we cool, we good, we happy, but do you think about the deeper stuff?
Because even here in Beijing, just my own little friend circle has gotten even smaller, because I realize one thing. And social media is good for letting you know where people place you in your life. Nowadays, you can use social media as a barometer for how for where people place you. Because people would invite me for the karaoke, the raunchy nights out, and then on the days that matter, you just you find out, this person had an intimate birthday with their close friends,
and you're like, wait. Where am I here?
Okay.
Yeah.
They had a brunch thing with their close friends.
You're like, oh, okay.
They went on a trip.
Yeah.
With their close friends.
Like, no,
but I will get that Friday ring. Girl, what are you doing tonight?
Yeah. Right.
And I had to tell myself, and start telling people, I am not a brunch friend.
No, yeah.
I am not a lunch friend. I am not, can I borrow your heels friend?
Yeah.
I am not a raunchy night out friend. I am a friend or I am not. When you start tagging people in posts, talking about these are your close friends, my inner circle hashtag, and I'm like, do they know the kinds of things that you tell me? Because if they knew, I'm sure they would not be your friends. Because even those people that you call your best friends, you have told me yourself, they are judgmental as hell.
See?
Why are you maintaining them as best friends? And I've talked about this in a previous episode where like people still maintain this high school hierarchy of trying to please people, not realizing you are the main star in your own show. Why are you being a supporting cast in your own show?
Yeah.
You know?
You need that main character vibe.
You need to be the main character. And when you walk in, you're like, yes, I am the main character in my life.
Yeah.
And all of you who like playing supporting can play supporting in my life if that's what you want. But I will never be a supporting role in the life that is you. I'm not going to be a fabulous little addition.
Yeah.
And like that used to really piss me off. And I know you and I have joked about like, oh, boys and all the gays in her house. And I'm like, oh, but wait a minute. I did get that invite, and they said that was the day that I was working, or I was not there. I was busy, and what have you. But there are those people who like literally.
It's wild.
Yeah, and like I said, social media will be the death of very many relationships because, again, you will show your whole ass on social media.
You will.
You will show your whole ass on social media, calling people your best friends and your close friends and the math ain't mathing.
It ain't mathing. So yeah, I'm actually very curious. Like, what are some of the craziest things that you've gotten up to with your gay best friend? I mean, with your
I am the gay best friend.
With your straight straight best friend.
I've had to sext for a friend once.
Oh shit! That is funny because you're just reminding me of something. Our mutual friend. I was on Tinder the other time, and he was saying to me, no, man, I don't like how you're communicating with these guys. I'll respond for you.
Yeah, just give me the password. Yeah, we will do that.
He was chatting on my behalf on Tinder.
I've done that.
That is so funny.
I've done that. I've been to a gynecology appointment with a friend.
Yeah? Oh,
like, she was like, I'm not going in there alone. I'm like, I am not holding anything. And she goes, no, just be there. And then the doctor was just looking at me like okay, I guess. Is he a family? Like, is he? The doctor literally said, you don't have to have someone. It's like, she was like, no, I prefer it. What is that? Oh my God. I've helped my friend catfish a guy.
Stop! This
was bad. Because this guy, he deserved it though. You know why?
Tell me.
This guy was a horn dog, and he was a horn dog in the house of God.
Oh.
Because back when I used to go to church, the brothers, and he was chatting up sister this and sister that and sister that. And I was like, you cannot do that with my friend. And my friend, being the nice girl that she was like, what are we going to do?
You're like, hold my drink.
I'm like, hold my drink. I was like, does he have my phone number? No, he doesn't. I started texting this guy. I started texting him like, I know you. I've seen you. I really like you.
Oh my God.
And he's like, you don't know me? And I was like, I described him to himself. And I was like, oh, you know me? And I said, don't you usually go to this church youth mass? And it's like, yeah. Like, I go to the same church. I mean, like, I saw you just today. Were you not wearing this outfit? It's like, oh, you know. Yeah. Did I not download a Google image and send it to him on myself?
90
Day Fiancé vibes complete. And I arranged to meet him. And I basically told my friend, let's go. We are going to make a proper fool of him. And it was in a massive, like, public thoroughfare. I kept on, like, we were standing a distance away, and I kept on texting him, I'm right there, do you not see me? Like, turn to your left, turn to your right. And he goes, you're not here, still playing with me. And I'm like, are you not dressed like this? He goes, yes.
Mike, no way.
It was so
church brother. I'm sorry, my guy, but you deserved it.
He deserved it. I've never admitted. If he finds this, he's gonna be very upset. But I've never admitted
that
this.
That is so much fun.
But
what did your friend think?
Oh, she was living. She had her whole life. Yeah. She had her whole life and then some. Because she was like, I would have never thought to do this. Like, cause that's why you guys end up with hurt feelings.
You see, this is why we need you guys.
No.
This is why we need you.
We are going to hatch an entire plan. We are going to hatch that man. And
now I know.
Remember
we'll
to this
catch
day.
A lot of guys here in Beijing.
Ah, please.
I'm doing that now.
Yo.
Yeah.
No, but I've heard of situations where GBFFs have kind of gotten in situations like that, and they've ended up being assaulted violently in the city, including someone that we know.
Yeah.
And I found, because I was like, it's one thing to get involved in your friend's mess. It's another thing to try and intervene. And like you need to read the room.
Yeah, know when to just.
You need to, like if you're gonna give advice, you need to give advice and step away.
Yeah.
Don't be acting like you're these people's dads, because so many GBFFs out here do end up acting like they're the dad. I'm like, the DNA test says no.
Yeah, like we can be friends, but with them, like as much as like you wouldn't do it with anybody else. Like
like you wouldn't do that. Like for me, I wouldn't do some of these things for my gay friends, and I'm quite protective of my friends.
Right.
But I'm like, I'm not going to put my hand in the fire just to prove that I'm your friend. Right. If that is a measure of friendship, then
count me out.
But
fun stories. We do have fun with each other. I'll do that.
Do you know this? Apropos of nothing, but I remember the very, very first time you and I met.
When was this?
It was, I don't know if you remember that there was a club that was right near the local. It's no longer there. And they had an African night.
Oh yes, so was it that night?
That was the very first time we met. And I did not remember you correctly, because that was back when you had the relaxed straight hair.
Oh shit.
And we danced together, and there are photos of us dancing. And I remember going through my Instagram and I'm like,
that is so funny.
That's where I met her first.
Really?
Yes, because I would end up bumping into you and I'd be like,
think it was,
I know this girl, but I can't remember where.
I think I remember the party.
Yeah, because they were doing like Africa nights.
Yeah.
One of those Africa nights. And we got down. We got down, and I was like, I don't know who Miss Relaxer is, because that was back when I was natural as well. Because I've since straightened my shit. But I was like, oh no, listen, I was natural for a long time. Not for me.
You know what I always say when it comes to hair? I'm like, we struggle with so much shit. The last thing I need to be stressing about is my hair.
Hair needs to be working for me. I don't need to be working for my hair.
Yeah, I know.
That's what I said to myself. I was like, because I was like, people were like, oh my God, don't do anything to your hair, but you look so nice. I'm like, in order for it to look like that
goes into it.
In order to have like 5 hours of good hair, it took me 2 days of letting my hair dry and prep and this, and it's not worth it.
Yeah. I know. I'm just over it now.
And since I it got longer, it got healthy. I'm like, we'll just stick to this. Yeah. But again, we're getting off topic. So
this has been us for the past.
This has been us. Like, we were meant to start this a long time ago. And there are X-rated files that I will post at some point. Hold you ransom. I said some reckless stuff. I'm the one who's been reckless at the mouth. But coming back to the topic.
Yeah.
This whole, this, like, we're proving ourselves right now. The gays and the girls behaving badly. It just never stops. But do you think there will ever come a time where, like, all GBFF relationships will be on an equal footing? Like, think about the way you are with your friends who happen to be gay, and that's the difference. Like, you don't have GBFFs. You happen to be friends with people who are gay. And they're very, very close to you. They express their whole entire humanity. Like, I know you through that. Like, that's been our interaction.
Right.
But do you ever think that there will come a time, especially with Black girls, and especially with Black African girls, because Black African girls seem to have GBFFs and they love their GBFFs, but they're also very particular about where they allow their GBFFs to come. And it's almost like one of those, I'm embarrassed to be around you, but I will be around you if I need to.
Yeah, I know.
And that has always been a big problem for me, because they're like, oh, you understand why I didn't invite you? Like, the straight people were going to be there. And it's like, okay, I live in a majority straight world anyway. What are you talking about?
Yeah, nothing new there.
Yeah, and you realize it's because they're embarrassed of you.
Yeah, that's so unfortunate, actually, because, like we said, if it's a friendship, it's a friendship. But also, I see how with Black girls, I'll speak to Black girls, and how we come from conservative countries, right? Very conservative communities. South Africa is a different story.
South Africa is an African unicorn.
It's an African.
You guys are you are an African. When did you guys legalize gay marriage? 2005.
No, a lot earlier than that.
Was it?
I'm sure we were a lot earlier than that.
No, like, same-sex unions have been recognized for a while, but proper full-on marriage. I think that was 2005.
No.
Because it was even earlier than some of these Western countries.
Of course, we're like one of the first ones around the world.
And people are like, oh my God, this is happening in Africa, and the rest of us in Africa are like, South Africa is not Africa. Even they think they're not in Africa.
No. It was a lot earlier than that, but I do think the whole relationship with how if the relationships will change between women and their gay best friends, and if it will it was actually 2006, you're right.
Yeah. I thought it was right about, because I was in, where was I? I think I was in, was I in high school? Not yet. Was I?
Oh, yeah, high school.
I was in high school, yes, I was in high school, and I remember one of the new taunts for me was, you should go to South Africa, you can finally marry a man. And I was like, I can marry a man anyway. Please calm down. Yeah.
But I think just like any relationships, and just like how our conversations around certain topics have evolved over the years, and how same thing with same-sex marriages, feminism, patriarchy. We are starting to have more open conversations about these things, and they have changed in comparison to 10, 20 years ago. So, of course, the hope is that as time changes and we evolve as human beings, these relationships will also have a more solid foundation.
I mean, you heard it here first from Reverend Doctor Magistrate.
Get out of here. You're so annoying. I do think that changed.
The second coming of, what's her name again? Your best friend? What was the one that you mentioned? The one from the second coming of Maya Angelou.
Stop it.
The only thing that's missing is the deep voice children. I believe a time will come.
Yeah, I do believe it well. And the more we all get more exposure is so important, because then by being exposed, you get to experience people for who they are.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Because if you're in this little circle of, I don't hang around gay people, or I only hang around my gay friends when we're out in the club,
but never in personal circles,
then it means your family's not getting exposed to your friends, and it doesn't change their mindset about how they view gay people. It's just that kind of vicious cycle. So I think it will change over the years. Because
the other side of it, I think, is, I will say personally myself, I have grown tired of having to make my life a ministry of sorts. I don't want, like, when people make your life about just you living your life, some sort of statement. I'm like, I'm not trying to make a statement. Yeah. If I want to make a statement, I know ways to make a statement.
Yeah.
I don't want my existence to prove a point.
Yes.
And I think that's where a lot of gay people are right now, is they've just grown tired of their identities being weaponized. even against them, because sometimes you even find, and that thing that you mentioned, that subtle but sometimes very overt homophobia from people who call themselves friends.
Yeah.
When they say stuff like, "Oh, I like you because you're not like other gay guys."
Like, you're not out there. My friend gets that a lot. My gay best friend, he gets that and he hates it. He actually had to call out one of our close friends recently, because our friend said, well, you're so lucky because, she said something along the lines of, "Oh my gosh, I wonder how your mom felt when she found out that you were gay and whatnot." And he got really upset because he was like, "Look, me being gay has never been an issue for me." And
you're the one who always
you are the one making it an issue. My family knows I'm gay. It's never a topic. We've never sat down and had a discussion about it. I'm gay.
Because it's a non-issue.
Who I am. Do we ever have to sit down and talk about you being straight? No. So why should we? And that's the thing, which I think is so unfair, because I'm like, so we are not taking away from gay people from just living their lives. People just can't just exist and be.
No.
You're constantly now teaching people. If you're not teaching people, you're so correcting.
Sick. I am so sick of that.
It's exhausting.
I am so sick of that. I'm now on the other side of 30. I just cannot. Yeah, I refuse to can. Like before, I would very proudly just go, but you're wrong and you should this, and I'm like, no.
No, we have Google,
again,
we have books.
All of you bitches out there who have only read one book, please
just read a book.
Get a library card.
Yeah.
Go read.
Yeah.
Read a book.
So yeah. We can only hope. But so far, we'll just enjoy the friendships.
We'll enjoy the friendships. I mean,
the authentic, deep ones, where we have fun, where we have deep conversations, where we can fully be ourselves with each other.
You can enjoy the full scope of someone's humanity. I think that's the most important thing.
Absolutely.
This was such a lovely conversation. It's been like a 5-hour conversation. And I really don't want it to end, but I will have to end it here for my little Peking ducks. For you, because this conversation is still going on after I cut this. But until next time, thank you so much for joining us, and thank you so much, Boithabiso, Bertha, Reverend Doctor, Your Honor, Magistrate.
Thank you so much for having me. By the way, we still have to do that workshop that we spoke about.
She's treating me like a typical gay guy.
No!
You know what she's talking about?
I'm sure everyone's going to agree with me.
Audio viewers, I like that term. By the way. Audio viewers who are watching me through their ears. She wants me to host a heel walking seminar. Yeah. And why is this?
Because you step on that shit, and some of us need help learning how to. I have a bunch of heels, and I mean, I've seen some struggles in the streets.
I've seen struggles.
I know.
As I walk past in mine,
and you're like, girl, you need some help. So you see, I think you should teach us. I
would happily do it. We were meant to do this at the end of January, and then
life happened, but we'll do it. It's getting warmer.
Spring into summer, the slutty shoes are coming out. Yeah. I never changed my shoes. I was always in my skyscrapers, but no, my heels are super high though. My skyscrapers. But yes, you've now been informed. I'm being marginalized, and I'm being treated as a typical gay guy, and we have it on record now. Thank you, Dr. Reverend. Dr. Reverend, Your Majesty. Oh, now your Majesty as well. Dr. Reverend, Your Majesty. The second coming of Maya Angelou. Thank you so much for joining me.
I'll take that. Fine.
And we're definitely having more conversations like this. This was so much fun. But until next time, to a little Peking ducks out there, 再见.
再见.